What's up, guys? Tommy Mutchell here, your lazy agent, and today we're going to be checking out the Brivity CRM, which is a really popular and powerful CRM for real estate agents. We're going to be diving deep into the CRM. We're going to look at the website, we're going to look at a lot of the automation, marketing, and just what Brivity has to offer all around. And with that said, we'll just go ahead and jump right into the video. All right, so when you first log in to your Brivity CRM, you have your dashboard, which is laid out really nicely. It's actually one of my favorite dashboards that I've seen in a CRM. Really like this dashboard for the most part. First up is we have our opportunities. So it kind of just gives you an overview of what's going on with your leads and who you should be focusing on right now. Of course, I really like this activity monitor right away where you kind of see the leads' recent activity. And of course, you can call them, email them, text them right from here if you would like to. Of course, you can also see all your automation for your auto plans. If you want to see your activity for those, you can. And then of course, you can review all your calls, all your contacts, your text sent, your email sent, your appointments set for the week. And of course, you can adjust this. You can do a custom range if you want. And of course, you can create goals inside of the Brivity CRM. So you can make sure you're hitting your sales goals, your appointment goals, and your cold lead, all of the goals. Now, moving on, we're going to go to this left-hand panel. It kind of, I don't know if it can stay open. I don't think it does. You have to like hover over it. I don't really like that, but that's just me. It doesn't really matter too much. It's just a personal preference. You also have the search bar where you can search by name, address, phone number, and of course, MLS numbers. So if you want to pull up an MLS or an MLS listing, you can. You also have your notifications right here on the right, so you can see any notifications. And if you are a team leader or a brokerage owner, you also have the activity users, so you can see all your other realtors that you might have. You can see all realtors or just a specific realtor that you want to monitor or work with or see how they're doing. And last but not least, we have this little help icon right here. So if you need to message support, see some Brivity ads, you can definitely check that out right here. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our message center. You're going to see we have 0 texts and 0 emails because this is a beta test account. So I haven't texted anyone, but if they were to show up here, they would show up here, which is cool and handy. Now, as we move on to our leads, there's some really important things you need to know. So the way Brivity works is we have our leads pawn. And as we move on to our leads profile inside of the Brivity CRM, you're going to see we also have people. Now, people and leads are basically the same thing. It's just how Brivity organizes them. So for example, leads are going to be potential clients, and the way they have this set up is right now you have all your leads, right? You could also have them in like different categories or groups or filters, however you want. So you can have all your Zillow leads, you can have like your door knocking leads, your expired leads, anything like that, all these different leads. And of course you can have multiple filters and make more filters. We're going to go ahead and just click on all leads for the sake of this video right now. And then of course we'll talk about people here in a second, but this is going to be more of your active clients. So like people you're working with, different team members. So obviously we have our sphere, we have our clients, we have any collaborators. Collaborators may be like photographers, home inspectors, things like that. And then you have your team members as well. So anyone that's on your team that you might need to be in communication with, whether that's an ISA, a virtual assistant, a transaction coordinator, other realtors, and so forth. All right, now as we move on to our contacts page, it's actually pretty clean. I really like it. You got a good amount of filters here. Not as many filters as you have in some CRMs, but it is quite a few. You could probably organize and categorize your leads however you want, especially if you want to make new lead lists. You could definitely do that. You could search by like property types, like bedrooms, price range, locations, whether or not they have appointments. So you have a lot of search filters built into the Brivity CRM. There's a couple CRMs that have more search filters, but this is a lot compared to a lot of CRM. Not a bad filter system. Overall, this is just clean. You have your client name right here. Obviously, you could select multiple leads and perform multiple actions. So select all on page. You could call them all. You could create an action where you're like email them, tag them, change their status, add a listing alert, something like that. Of course, you could choose their intent. So if they're a buyer, a seller, tenant, recruit, something like that, you can definitely mark their intent, of course. And then they have this status. Now, this status is similar to the KV Core's client journey, if you will, very similar to the Chimes pipeline feature, which is a must-have in my personal opinion. It's really good to know where clients are in the circle of life, if you will. Now, the way Brivity's work is it's pre-built for you. You can't change it at all, which I don't like. Some CRMs like Chime really let you customize this, and I think that's a really important part on how I run my business, because I want to customize customize this. Okay, I don't really care about like watch or archive or inactive. You can make it work. Like you can make all this work, but this is really important for automation. Brivity has some decent automation, but other CRMs like Chime and KV Core, like their automation runs very heavily, or at least I run my business very heavily on the pipeline tool. Again, Brivity calls it a status. I'm familiar with it as a pipeline tool, but I digress. So anyways, that's their pipeline tool or the status tool. Very powerful. Definitely recommend you use that, especially for some of the automation that we'll kind of go over here shortly. Of course, then you can call, text, email, schedule an appointment with the lead, or create another, which is just a task. All right, now we're going to take a look at our client profile page. Now, this is really important because you're going to spend a lot of your time here. Assumingly, at least I do, taking notes, calling people, checking in on people, updating their listing alerts, things like that. So having a really good layout for a lead profile page is really, really important. Now, it's pretty modern, pretty slick. It's what you'd see in like your Chime, your Follow-Up Boss, your HubSpot. HubSpot's a really popular CRM platform. So it's very similar to where you have all your contact information on your left. You have a timeline of all the leads activity. Of course, you have other tools over here on the right side, so you can see their website activity. If you were to click view, you can add an appointment. So if you want to schedule appointments with the lead, you can. Brivity has a pretty cool home app. It's not the fanciest home app in the world. It is branded towards Brivity, but like once you download it, it brands it towards you. So if they want to plan out to that app as opposed to just getting listing alerts, pretty cool. And then any tasks, any auto plans that you have applied. Of course, you can add listing alerts. So if you want to, you can add listing alerts. You have a ton of like listing criteria and features that you can add on, like even all the way down to like baseboards or ductless mini splits. And then of course you can also expand them for even more options. So a lot of really cool stuff. And if you would prefer a map option, you definitely go to adding a map view and searching that way. They also have their market update report. So if you want to do like a market update, you can definitely do that. Again, you actually got search features, so that's kind of cool. If you want to make custom market reports, you definitely can. And Brivity also has this really cool CMA tool. It does cost extra, I believe, depending on which plan you got. Brivity has a bunch of different plans, but this is a really cool, powerful CMA tool. I'm not going to go through it for the sake of this video, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's a good CMA tool. Now back up here at the top, of course, you can add your notes right away. You can email them, send an email out. You can call them. So click the call icon. You can click this little call button. And then you could add any notes, click whether or not you talked to them, you left a voicemail or it's a wrong number, then you could save your log. Of course, you could text people. And then of course you have your appointment tool. Again, you can add it right here or just click up here. You can even add it to Google Calendar, which is actually really important, I think, because it'll sync with them. And then of course you have other, which is basically just creating a task inside of Brivity. Left-hand column, you have a ton of stuff. So you can create relationships with other leads. You can write notes about contacts or use the @ symbol to notify someone on your team. You can connect to transactions and upload documents. Overall, it's a pretty robust contact management page. It has all the basic tools that you need for a good real estate CRM, and then some. Of course, the listing alerts, that's really, really important. The auto plans, also really important. All right, now let's go ahead and pull up our people's page. Again, it's very similar to our leads page. I know we kind of got distracted with the client contact page, but that's okay. Very, very similar layout, everything. It's just these are your people. These are like your relationships. So think about them as relationships instead of leads. So again, it's just a way for Brivity to organize their leads. Now, as we move on, we have our search listing tool. Basically, it's just a built-in MLS. It's kind of cool. We'll go ahead and pull up some properties here. Let's just search Ferndale, which is my home area. Let's just pull up a list for this. And as you see, we got a bunch of listings here. Of course, you can click on them. You'll get this side profile right here where you can just see whatever you want about the listing. Of course, you're not going to have that MLS backend data that you normally are used to, which is kind of a bummer, but I mean, the MLS doesn't hand that data out, so I'm not really surprised. If you want to, you could select like a lead or two, or not a lead. You could select like a listing or two, and you can click share. Then you can send them to a lead of your choice. I get this nice little email where you can send them all these properties, and you can click send over email. Pretty cool. You also see this tool right here on the left side that says match buyers. So you can match certain buyers with a particular listing and quickly send it to them. Note, they probably got a listing alert already, but in case they haven't, based off their search criteria for their listing alerts, you can't send that to the lead again. Of course, it would also be good to follow up with that lead and maybe call or text them like, hey, you get that property I set you on 2nd Avenue? Take a look at it. You might really like it. All right, now let's move on to transactions. Now, transactions transactions. Brivity was originally built as like a transaction manager. At least that's what I've been told. It was originally built as a transaction manager. I don't actually know for sure. Maybe I'm lying, but let's look at their transaction tool. There is quite a lot here. Basically, this is going to be more relevant if you have a big team. Now, as a solo agent, I definitely recommend you use a tool like this. Keep all your transactions organized. I know your brokerage probably has a tool that you're required to use, but this is just really good for your own personal end to manage your deals regarding any tasks, any advertising, showing feedback, details, documents you want to upload, keeping it in contact with your team members. So you have a bunch of team members right here, like your lender, photographer, stager, appraiser. You can also apply auto plans, which is a pretty cool tool for sending out texts, automated emails, having different tasks. Obviously for transactions, it's going to be more task oriented than automated emails and text, although you'll probably send out a couple of them with the text. At least having the option is nice, but it's going to be mostly tasks. Now, moving on from transactions, we're going to move on to our tasks. So we have a task manager, which is a cool tool on where you can see basically all of your tasks. Now, again, this is a demo account and we got 26,000 tasks due. That's a lot of tasks. Yeah, basically see all your tasks here, hit complete when you're done. Just basically your giant to-do list. Under tasks, we also have our projects tool, which is where you can manage basically bigger projects. So similar to a task, we have our projects tool. So if you need some, like, let's just say you want to build a new listing presentation packet and you want to keep your whole team organized, or you want to collaborate with other people, basically create that right here. You got different statuses. So it's active, pending, upcoming. You can have a completion date. You can have a project type. You could assign it to certain people and give it a type of priority. So it's pretty cool. So it's a pretty cool tool for managing your tasks or projects inside of Brivity. Next up, we got reporting. So we'll go ahead and click on that. We'll see if it works. For me, sometimes it's a little wonky. It doesn't work really well. Basically, we could take a look at our goals, our team goals, our personal goals. We could see all of our active listings, maybe pendings, anything like that. So if you want to see just kind of your business reporting overall, your leads by lead source, your closing breakdown, closings by agent. So if you have multiple agents. So again, helps with accountability, especially when you want to look at agent details like text activity, their call activity. You know, are they making their calls? Are they using the auto dialer? What's their total call time? Are they spending enough time on the phones? So if you're on a team and you're mandating people be on the phones for a certain amount of time, this is a good way to track and record that. All right, next up, let's go ahead and check out our marketing center here. So we'll go ahead and check out the marketer first. This is a cool tool for basically all your marketing needs. I actually really like it a lot. Basically, first up, we have create media. So you could create all your different postcards. You could create folded cards, letters, and envelopes. You could do automated postcards, which is really cool. So if you want to, you can actually do, I just were to click on automation. You could do automated birthday cards, automated home anniversary cards. Those are the only two automated postcards that you can do right now, but they're really cool. So if you want to just automate those, like send out postcards for your birthdays or home anniversary, you could do that. Really, really cool. They have this whole mail center. So if you want to make anything, basically send out anything over mail, and they got a ton of templates we'll look at here shortly. We can do print media. So if you want to just print out a bunch of flyers or door hangers, you could do that. You can even order them, I believe. They also have digital ads. So you got your just listed ads, your open house ads, your home value ads, your carousel ads, different ads over like Facebook and Instagram and things like that. If you want to create different graphics, you can for different social media platforms. I have this really cool video tool. It's in beta, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. I actually really like it. So if I were to pull up a video, I can make just listed, just sold, under contract, whatever I want. Let's do a story video. So let's do this one for story. We'll use this one. We're going to go hit create. We're going to type in our listing and we're going to go ahead and create a video. Now, really cool. Let's go ahead and click play. So just a little pre-built slideshow, nothing too fancy, but it is cool. You can go ahead and download that and then post it to your social media. I kind of wish they had like a post button here. So like, I wish you could like post it to your social media from right here. I know some CRMs like Chime do that, but that's totally fine. It's still really cool that they make different videos. You can make them like any size. And again, just automatically really quickly. I wish there was like a way to like automatically post it. So Brivity, if you're watching it, do that. Make it auto post. And then you also have other marketing materials. So you got like business cards. You could do like their text writer sign. Again, that's going to be an additional charge if you do decide to go with it. You can order like listing signs and sign writers, closing gifts, and name tags. They got a lot of marketing stuff here. Overall, this like marketing design center works pretty well. I'm pretty impressed with it. It runs pretty smoothly. And I say that because a few other CRMs have their own marketing design centers that don't run quite as clean as this one does in Brivity. I like it a lot for a design center, basically a Canva knockoff. It works pretty well, especially when you want to like automate things and just kind of have like your own templates. Of course, you can actually save like your own profile, like personal customization. So you can like upload your own graphics of like who you are, your name, profile picture, stuff like that. So it just autofills. It's pretty cool. So we got a couple of test listings right here. If you were to click on it, think of this as kind of like a listing manager, if you will. And basically think of this as like a listing manager, if you will. I kind of wish these were tied together in a way, but basically this is just your marketing, all your marketing materials for listing. So if you wanted to, you can go down here, you could create a new mailer campaign. Again, you could select postcards, select a size. The prices range from, let's just see, select a price. A small postcard right now is going to run us about 63 cents. And if I were to go like a large postcard, that's going to run us about $120. What about a folding one? That's going to be about $1.50. What about a letter? That's going to be about $1.19. Regardless, you could create your just listed campaigns or postcards. You could do open house mailers, your sold mailers, or custom, whatever you want. So really, really cool stuff right there for your listings. Again, we have our design center. So if you want to design stuff, you can. We got our paid ads. So if you want to do social media ads, you run those. And then of course your print order. So if you're ordering stuff for print. Now, if we go back to Brivity, and my head might be in the way, but I think we'll be okay. They have this tool called Classic, which is going to be some of your automated posting, which is really, really cool. So if you want to, you could choose what listings you want to automatically post, different social medias. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Pinterest, we have Craigslist, which is really, really cool. Although I think Craigslist is kind of dying. I know being able to auto post to Craigslist is really, really neat that a lot of CRMs don't do. Active Rain, I don't know who the hell uses Active Rain, but you can post there. And it's not right here, it's in the settings. I want to show you, you can actually set these automated posting to, let's see if I can pull it up. I think it's marketing. Yeah, basically you could choose under marketing, under the settings here, you can choose like the frequency. So I want my listings to be posted to Facebook every 3 days. I want to be posted to Twitter. Let's go every 2 days, maybe Pinterest every 6 days. Let's do Craigslist every 5 days, and Active Rain, let's do every day, because who's on Active Rain? I have no idea. What is active? Oh, it's closed. Huh. Is this just a dead company? What is this? Oh, okay. Sorry, Ben. This must be like one of your things. Not trying to trash talk it. Guess no one uses it. And apparently, according to Google, you're closed. All right, back to Brivity. Now, before we jump into the other really important tools like the website, what that looks like, the automation for like smart plans, let's take a look at the calendar tool. Looks like it's just a calendar. Okay, that's kind of boring. Let's go to the App Store. Take a look at the App Store, because why not have an App Store? Looks like basically we have our Brivity Marketer, which is that tool for the automated postcards and leads we saw earlier. The Design Center, then their CMA tool, if you want to use that. They also have a Brivity VA. You can hire a VA, so they will help hire, train, and set you up with VAs, which is really, really cool. Obviously, they got their website that we're going to review here shortly, and they got their Quickly, something, I don't know. This is like their like text to like lead capture, text capture for leads. And then of course it integrates with Zapier, which is really important. I think every CRM needs to integrate with Zapier. Really important. And then Zillow. Who doesn't integrate with Zillow? All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the auto plans and the action plans inside of the Brivity CRM. Now, basically, these are going to be your smart plans, your follow-up plans, things like that. Now, the way action plans work are basically going to be like your listing management, listing tasks. So basically, it's just like a task checklist that you have here. You can create it, you can add new, you can add like, hey, we're going to perform an open house. Here's our open house checklist that we might want to run. However, our auto plan is going to be your automation. So it's going to be your automated text, it's going to be your automated emails, and it's going to be manual tasks, and that's it. As far as I know, as far as I could tell, and I've done a lot of research, there's no automated voicemails, there's no AI integration, there's no automated postcards or letters built into it. Obviously, you have the automated birthday and home anniversary postcards, but you can't do like a seller postcard campaign where you're just sending off a bunch of one-off postcards to seller leads all day long, which is a little disappointing, but we'll go ahead and jump into it here. Overall, it is pretty powerful for the most part, much better than some of the really basic cheap CRMs that I've seen out there. So with that said, we'll go ahead and kind of just take a look at it right now. The way it's built in Brivity, it's a little confusing. It took me a little bit to figure out and learn. Basically, we have our triggers and then we have our plans. So you could create a trigger and then you create a plan. So a plan, for example, if I were to create a plan, let's do a test. Create your plan, and then you could create a task, an email, a text. So if I want to do text, or then you could like insert like a placeholder, like their name, their birthday. Like there's a bunch of like autofill content here. So we're going to want to do recipient's first name. How are you? And then we're going to have it go out. We can do it like 5 seconds after an auto plan starts. We could do it 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, whatever you want. So it's basically after an auto plan starts. We could also do like a specific date. So before or after, like an anniversary, a birthday, a licensee, license sense. Oh, I think that's an organization date, a purchase anniversary, things like that. And of course, you got your date, your time, and then you could select who is it from. and whatnot. Now, this is really important here. Now, of course, you can do the same thing with email. So if you want to do an email, you can. You got like all your basic whatever email editing tools. And then you can do tasks. So if you have like a call task, this is where you would add it. Or maybe you want to send a handwritten postcard, this is where you would add that task. Maybe it's update their listing alert, whatever you want. Now, there's some cool tools here. You can have this auto plan pause when the lead replies via a text. So if they respond to a text, you can actually pause the plan. You also have some cool automation here, which I wish you had a little bit more control over, but it's good enough. I mean, I'll take it for what it is. When the plan ends, you can also have it like change a status. So if it's like a new lead, let's just say like when this plan is done, if you're going to do like the famous Ben Kinney's 10 Days of Pain follow-up campaign for all of your new leads, maybe once that like runs out, they don't respond after 10 days, you put them on nurture. And then after they're on nurture for a while, maybe like a few months or a year or something like that, and they never respond, you can auto put them onto inactive. So that's really important, I think, for automating your CRM, automating a lot of your follow-up and tasks. You can also auto pause a plan for when the lead status changes. Now, the way I run this, I run something very similar in my CRM. I use the Chime CRM for the most part, a really, really powerful CRM. But basically, if I have like a need that's in the hot pipeline, let's just say, and they're getting my automated text and email and ringless voicemails and postcards or either a seller lead, whatever they're getting, I want that plan pause if I were to move them to a different pipeline. Now, I call them pipelines. Now, in Brivity, it calls them statuses. So forgive me for using the language interchangeably. Hopefully that makes sense. But if I were to take them from the hot to maybe like say through a nurture, I want to pause this hot auto plan and put on a more nurture or hold auto plan, so you will. Maybe I don't want to follow up with them aggressively. I want to follow up with them maybe once a month instead of once a week. Now, with that said, once you create a auto plan inside of Brivity, you have to create a trigger. So we'll go ahead and create a trigger. You would select the plan that you want to apply to. We got like 1 billion Ben Kinney Days of Pain follow-up campaigns. You would select the auto plan that you want it to apply to. So let's just say we got this plan that we want it to apply to, and we want it to automatically apply. Again, you don't have to do this, but any lead that is let's say a buyer, and I don't want to say any source. Sounds too, let's just say they came through our website. So IDX lead and their status is new. Obviously we could check different statuses and you can add a tag if you want. I'm not going to add a tag because I don't want to, but then you hit save and then it would activate this plan for any time a new lead came in with this lead source and this status source for buyers. Now I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want that plan triggered. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the website for Brivity and we'll just take a look around and see what's going on. Now here's our homepage. For the most part, it's pretty clean, not too fancy, relatively modern. Personally, I would update some of these logos. I'm not a big fan of this black bar up here, but that's just me. I mean, I would change some things on this. I'd change maybe the color schemes. I get it's that color William red, but it's gonna have everything you need for a basic real estate website. Obviously, we got our search tool, search for listings. If we were to just pull up some listings, we can. Let's go ahead and just look at this one right here. I think this listing page actually looks pretty clean. Just looks modern, actually pretty nice. Of course, people can schedule a walkthrough with you. Got all your property details, got a mortgage calculator, got some marketing insights, and that's about it. I kind of wish you could add like additional properties down here, but there's something to be said for simplicity's sake. Now, Brivity also has a buy section. It's a landing page, so people buy on that if they want to. Sell page, sell your home, and then you got value. So we just look at sell your home. It's kind of like similar to the buy page. Just like, hey, here's kind of who we are, what we do, get in touch with us. We have our top areas. So if you want to learn more about neighborhoods, you can kind of see everything for a neighborhood or a city. It's honestly not a ton. I'm actually a little disappointed. I thought there'd be more info. Usually when you see like these top area websites, you see a lot more. It's actually kind of disappointing. If I were to go to my website, not that I'm trying to compare right now. Like if I were to go to like a city on like my website, just pull it up right here. Now I added these videos here, but this is what like my website would look like. You got a lot more information here, so I'm kind of surprised Brivity doesn't do that, but regardless, it's not too bad. I'm assuming you can edit all this stuff. I'm not really sure. I hope you can, because there's not a lot here. Then of course you got like a finance page so people can learn more about financing. I'm sure you can edit this and do more with it, although actually I'm not sure. And if you have multiple agents, you can add your agents or your team there. Then you got your contact page. For the most part, it's pretty basic, not too fancy. Now, I do want to show you something really quick here, where if we go to like a listing, you can create some marketing materials within this listing. And the way you do that is, if I want to do like an open house form, what you do is you click on the URL, and I were to hit backsplash open house, I could type right, it's going to create us a landing page for open house. Now, we could do a light registration, a full registration, a virtual open house registration, whatever you want. Select our date, our time, and we'll click start open house, and then we have our open house form where it's going to capture leads. So when people come in, they have to check in. Now you could also do the same thing for landing pages. So if I were to do backslash landing, you can actually make a landing page. So again, you could preview this page, copy the link, and you have this nice little property profile page where people then have to register on. All right, now last up before we go, if you want to get a really killer deal on Brivity, I'm not affiliated or sponsored by them at all. I'm literally just making this video for the fun of it. But if you want to get a really good deal, I got a really good friend, Connor, who works at Brivity. He would love to help you out, give you a full demo. So if you want to check that out, I'm going to leave his email down below so you can reach out to him. Let him know Tommy the Lazy Agent sent you or not, doesn't matter. Again, I'm not affiliated with Brivity at all. Personally, I use the Chime CRM. I really like it. It's a really, really powerful CRM. It does cost a little bit more than Brivity regarding the basic packages, and only a little bit more. But that's my favorite CRM. So if you want to check that out, I got a video right here that you can watch, learn more about it. It's really, really cool. Definitely my favorite CRM. But if you want to go with Brivity, not a bad choice, would definitely work really well for you and your business. Give Connor a call or shoot him an email and he'll help you out. With that said, my name is Tommy Mutchler, and I'll see you in the next one.